Hey everyone, it's Ralph. Welcome back to the channel. And today in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 mistakes that I wish I avoided during my real estate wholesaling journey. And whether you've been doing real estate wholesaling for a while or you're new to this business, you're going to take away things from this video that you need to avoid. And I'm going to share exactly how to avoid those mistakes. All right, let's talk about the first thing is that wholesaling is not as easy as it looks. When I first heard about real estate wholesaling, I thought this was really simple. You find a buyer, you find a seller, you get a contract from the seller, you sell it to a buyer, you get a little extra fee on top of that, and there you go, that's your money. And even though technically that's how it works, wholesaling is not instant cash, and you need to remember that. Wholesaling takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and the most important, consistency. For beginners, you have to understand you're not going to close a deal overnight. There's a learning curve. You have to figure out a way to generate leads. You have to figure out a way to find buyers. You have to figure out a way how to deal with contracts. All these processes take time to figure it out. So you have to take time, but stay consistent. This business, like any other business, is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes a lot of effort, but eventually it will pay off. So don't get discouraged. Whether you're texting or cold calling or driving for dollars or sending mailers, all those methods work. You just have to stay consistent and keep on working. Next up, mistake number 2 that I feel like a lot of people do, even the real estate wholesalers that have been in the business for a while, is not following up with your leads. This one is huge. For over 100 deals that we've done, I believe maybe 1% of them originally when we called, they were ready to sell for the price that we wanted them to sell it for. So this happens extremely rare. So what I want to say is that stay consistent, talk to people. Some of my deals taken 6 to 8 months to close from the initial time of consulting or talking with them. So for that, you have to get organized. And for that, you need a CRM system to get your leads organized. I suggest automating your leads. You have to do that from the start. No Google Sheets, nothing like that. Go through Podio. Create a follow-up system. Hey, we texted this person this day we tried to call them, this happened, this is the conversation that happened here. Whatever it is, create a CRM. You have to be able to check what happened with the lead, when the last time you spoke to it. All of that stuff is super important. So create a system for yourself, use a CRM, and you will be successful. This brings me to a third lesson, is that real estate wholesaling takes a lot of money to get started. When I first started real estate wholesaling, I truly had no money. I just got fired from a job and I was trying to get my first deal, and it was absolutely insane. It was so hard. I was putting all my softwares on a credit card. I was trying to figure out how to get through. I was trying to figure out how to market. What's the free ways of marketing? You know, I drove for dollars, called myself, which I absolutely hated, but you have to do what you have to do in the beginning. I've spent probably nearly $4,000 in the first 4 months, and when I closed my first deal, I got $2,000, so that didn't pay for anything. But then after that, it started snowballing and we started closing deals, and it became pretty successful. The cool thing is that actually the purchasing of the properties you don't have to deal with, right? So you put a property in the contract and then you assign it to a buyer, and the buyer actually funds the whole deal. So they give the money to the seller and they give the money to you for the assignment fee and all that stuff. So you don't have to have all that big amount of money in your bank when you're starting real estate wholesale. As I mentioned, there's a lot of free ways and low cost ways to generate leads, from calling yourself to driving for dollars to send them mails, maybe directly yourself write the mails. Whatever it is, all that stuff is super cheap, and you can do that, especially in the beginning. Mistake number 4 is that not knowing contracts in your business can cost you a lot of money. And it's absolutely true. You have to be very, very careful. You have to learn your contracts, understand how to deal with those contracts. You have to get the correct contracts from different wholesalers or agents in your area, or you can pay an attorney to draft a contract for you. In the beginning, I found free contracts online that kind of worked, I guess, but looking back at it, there's a lot of things that could have went wrong. And I want to share this with you guys so you can try to educate as much as you can on your contracts and prevent things from going wrong. The good thing is that both of the contracts that you will need, which is the purchase and sale agreement and assignment of contracts, are easily available online, so you can get those online and try to figure out what they say. Educate yourself. Look up the purchase and sale agreement of your state that realtors use. That's a really good one to go off. So there's a lot of things you can learn from that. Don't be afraid to ask other wholesalers that are doing business in the area. A lot of people are secretive about this business. They don't want to share their ways, but a lot of people are really good and they want to share. For example, I have a lot of people in my Instagram DMs, and a lot of times I do answer them. Sometimes when I can, if they're longer questions, obviously we book calls, but overall I'm very, very happy answering people's questions. And section number 5, which I think was my biggest mistake, to be honest with you, is that in the beginning, I completely neglected the buyer side. All I concentrate on is generating leads. So generating leads is, in my opinion, the most important thing in real estate wholesaling, because without leads, you can't close any deals. But the problem with that is that if you have no buyers, if you have no relationship with buyers, eventually that actually becomes a problem. You get a deal, but you can't find anyone to sell it to. And even if you can find a 1 buyer or 2 buyers to sell it to, if you had a bigger buyer list, you can create a situation when they're all providing you their best offers, therefore you can make more money. You can find cash buyers on Facebook, you can find them through PropStream, you can find them on Zillow. There's many ways to find cash buyers. One of the important things that I can suggest to you, vet your buyers. Make sure they're legit buyers, they're not just wholesalers that are presented to be buyers. There's nothing wrong with wholesalers trying to JV. The problem with that comes when the original wholesaler thinks that the wholesaler on the buyer side is actually a buyer. So there's a lot of misinformation that goes on that way. So in my opinion, if you're open to someone wholesaling it to a buyer, that's great. So just make sure you know who you're dealing with. And that's the most important thing that I can tell you. There you have it. Those are the top 5 things that I wish I avoided when I started my real estate wholesaling journey. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I actually want to ask you, what is one thing you wish you would have avoided as you started your real estate wholesaling journey? Let's help each other out. Let's share those things in the comments down below. And until next time, peace.